right? We're going to be discussing things that are going to help us in our everyday life as far as manifestation and getting us to a new realm of our lives. Sometimes we're on a hamster wheel and we think, is this all life is about? Surviving and, the matrix system.
So here we go.
We're
going to go ahead and start the music and start this new podcast. Welcome to the Dialogue Internet Radio Podcast Network.
Thank you.
Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha.
And the Om Tare you hear on the track right now is actually a Tibetan mantra from the Green Tare, and that is the path to liberation. So that's where we're at here. I'm Mandy Shantyne Lopez, and this is Transmissions of a Cosmic Woman. This is where we're going to have raw conversations on energetic health, the healing arts, connections, self-awareness, and life. Welcome.
Wow. This is going to be a very interesting addition to the podcast library on the Dialogue Internet Radio Network. I'm Abel Rodriguez, and I'm the one that got people hooked on podcasts here in town. And welcome, to this Tortuga Studios here where we record.
Thank you for having me.
Right in the center of my universe and my energy. The mountains and even the we're right by the airport here, so the planes that fly over, they're a ball of energy. Because they're taking people. You just feel all this synergy energy, and I'm really happy to have you here. So let's introduce you to the audience, and let's talk a little bit about who are you. How big was your family? Tell us about your growing up.
Well, I'm native here to El Paso, Texas. I went to school here. I went to UTEP, and then I moved to Florida for 9 years, and I came back recently this last year. So I brought with me a lot of knowledge from Florida, and I worked in the California, New York, Florida markets as far as coaching, managing, and being a talent agent. So I worked with a lot of talent in those realms. I come back to El Paso because El Paso has so much spirit and energy still, and there's still a lot of life force that's moving through this city. And so it compelled me to really bring back the knowledge and the creativity that I saw happening in other places. And I also wanted to help my own, city, help them grow, help us grow as human beings, because sometimes we're a little bit in the illusion of what's happening in life. So that's my realm. I'm a designer. I work in the realm of metaphysics. What are metaphysics? Metaphysics is anything that is dealing outside of the physical. So we can go into terms of subjects in the quantum field. We can go in terms of our energy system. So I always work in the 4 bodies, which we have a mind, the mental body. We have the energetic body, which is everything that is around us. We have the emotional body, and we have the physical body. So it's a lot of these interesting new concepts that we're in a time where everybody is coming into them. Everybody likes to do yoga. They want to participate in wellness, and we want to be better, healthier human beings. So I facilitate that in my work by fusing my experience in the performance arts along with my training for 10 years in the metaphysics.
Let's go ahead and talk about if the whole thing about I'm going to let you know that I consider you on the top shelf level of what I'm doing as far as a expert in what you do, and how you're going to talk to people and convince them that there's other ways to do things other than maybe what they've been doing in their lives. Mentally, I cleanse my mind, I cleanse my body, I cleanse my soul, all that stuff. But when did you have this inkling? Were you a kid, and when did you fall into the metaphysical side of things? Because it's not something that, when you're growing up, you're saying, hey, I'm going to be a metaphysicist.
Absolutely. You know what? Even when I was like a freshman in college, I needed to find the word for what I was looking for. I didn't even know the word metaphysics. But I'll take you all the way back to when I was about 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and I was telling a story about this particular situation yesterday. And my dad, he's an attorney, and he used to have all of these law books, a library of law books in one of our rooms. But underneath those law books, he had a whole bunch of books on the supernatural, on aliens, on conspiracy theories, on all of those, subjects that you wouldn't expect, a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old to be even like thinking about. And these covers, he had a lot of these covers that they would kind of freak me out a little bit, and then he'd always be watching the X-Files. So you'd hear that like in the background walking down the hallway. So that was something that as I had the literature available to me, I was reading at a very young age. And so I had this inclination to investigate more and more and more because it really resonated with me. And it's not so much just the extraterrestrial kind of subject, because that's a whole other thing, but it really merged into the rest of my life of trying to find my whole purpose of being here, my own personal journey. So for me, when I realized that it was about the metaphysical, that was when I was learning the performance aspect of it. So I'm very much trained in the craft of acting. So in acting, we have to learn so much about our human selves, so much about emotions and how humans are tactical and we have motivations and what are we thinking? And then you add in the physical aspect of that, and you have to have endurance to be on stage. You have to have endurance to dance, to sing. So it's a whole complexities of fusions going on. And as I was being trained in this, there was more for me. I just kept investigating more and more. I wasn't satisfied with what was coming to me as far as my training. I mean, I had great training, but I felt like there was something more to figure out. And so in my own personal journey, I started to become open to all of these, the people that come to me, or the signs that I was seeing, or the directions or the books or the classes that I was led to take. And so now I'm 32 years old, and I spent a good 10, 12 years really in the metaphysical realm. And before that, in my childhood, up to teenage, up to college, was the performance. So now I have a great understanding and grasp of what it is that I want to do and walk forward in this world. And that is the fusion of the performance and the metaphysics. And then finally, about maybe 8 years ago, I finally put it together and was like, okay, this is what it is. It's metaphysical. It is in the category of philosophies, of course. And a lot of people,
I mean, they teach philosophies in college,
Absolutely.
I mean, it has such a substance.
It is a legitimate subject. And if we go back to the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, the Greeks were always merging the arts and the sciences. So I would say the metaphysics is a philosophical branch of merging the arts and the sciences. However, why are we just going to sit there and read the books and kind of contemplate, oh, this was a great kind of like, painting or piece of literature? Now, I'm really wanting to take this into our reality, our physical world, and let's put the action to it. Let's really embody our supernatural selves in mind, body, soul, and energy. And through that, it's going to help our connections, our relationships. It's going to help our own manifestations as far as where we want to go in our lives, how we want to live it. We don't want to just be on a hamster wheel. We want to have excitement. We want to be in love. We want to create things. We want to manifest. We want to have money. There's nothing wrong with money. That's the currency of which we're using in this reality. So it's a lot about shifting our perspective, and it's a lot about using the tools that are already innately in us. So through my journey of learning a lot of my own self-awareness, a lot of my own dark to light kind of aspects of myself, which we all have, that's what I bring to the table. So I read a lot of books. I went to a lot of courses. I did a lot of, self-help, self-learning, self-teaching. And so now it's time for me to share at least my own personal journey, because I can't say that I know it all, because nobody knows it all. But we can only share the aspects of ourselves that we're like, this worked for me. You can try it. You cannot try it. This perspective opened up other avenues for me. You can try it, cannot try it, so on and so forth. So I'm just here to offer just a sense of more, because it has transformed me, and it has helped my creative force flow, and has helped me manifest and me create different realities over and over again. So certainly anybody who is interested in wanting to learn that and or more of themselves, I'd like to be a good springboard or mirror for you, or reflection or facilitator to help you bring out what is already in you. It's already in us. It just needs to be activated in some way.
And tell us what are some of the benefits of being able to completely exercise all your positives and I mean, what's the finished product? You just feel happy with yourself? Are you content with yourself? Or does it manifest itself into success?
Absolutely. In all realms, and we can go through so many, courses and workshops, but to the very finite, let's get to the basics. Okay. Energy. Even though maybe we might not understand its full complexities, maybe you're just like, I only know what positive and negative energy is, or I only know what it is to be happy or what it is to be mad. That's fine. But the point is that we know that energy exists in the way that we facilitate it to work. So for example, many people will categorize positive energy as, I'm happy, I'm excited, everything's great. Now, is it reality for us to always be in that heightened state of like, yay, I'm super happy all the time? The reality is no, because that would be over exasperating and exhausting. Okay. The other side of it is
happiness is exhausting, isn't it?
Happiness is exhausting. It is. It is. So it doesn't have to be so over the top, how we think it has to be. Now, the other part is negativity. And negativity, people would associate that with, well, I'm sad, I'm mad, everything is horrible, it's hateful in this world, everything's dark and evil. Okay, fine, that's another extreme side of the coin. So here's what it is. Energy simply is this. Positive energy is ascending energy, and it's energy that works together in groups, and it rises, and it's collaborative. That's what the energy molecules are literally doing, okay? Negative energy does the opposite. It's descending energy. So the negative energy is separating. It's working by itself. And it's constantly just disintegrating. That's literally what negative energy is doing. So the way that this helps us in our lives and the way that we see the evidence is we want to be in a state of higher frequencies. And you hear this in sound, you hear this in music. We want to be in a state of higher frequencies because it is the higher frequencies that keep our physical body healthy. So a lot has to do with our cells and our thoughts and our emotions. Your body is, so much 75, 80% of water, just like the earth. So our physical bodies mirror the earth, the planet in which we're living in. So if we have a lot of water in us, we have water, we have these organs, we have
like 80%.
80%. We have a lot of water in us. So what is that water doing? That water is in some way, it's either, again, residing in the higher frequencies by your thoughts, by your words, by your actions, or it's laying dormant and you're basically, in other terms, being dehydrated, drained from this. Another good example is...
So are we starting at the beginning of how you're going to take us up a mountain with information, right?
Absolutely.
So we're starting at the ground, but like we're not even on the first rung of the ladder yet. We're on the dirt, getting ready to step up, and you're going to bring us up every rung of the ladder and take us to somewhere.
Absolutely. We're in the dirt where we are the elementals right now, right? We're the stones, we're the rocks. So there's so much that goes into it, but just something to really ponder right now on the simple side is think about when you get up in the morning and you get up from your bed and you stub your toe. And it's like, oh, I stubbed my toe. And then you say a couple of curse words and then you walk down the stairs and then you trip down the stairs. And then it's like everything is going wrong from the moment that you woke up. And then you go out the door and you forgot your portfolio or you're in traffic. And all the way from 7 a.m. when you woke up to 7 o'clock at night when you got back home, it was just one heck of a hellish day. Have any of you had days like that? Okay, so that is an example of energy. Because the moment that you woke up, you had this mishap happen to you where you stubbed your toe. So therefore, you proclaimed it as this day is going to be a horrible day. And so it was. And so the domino effect of our energy goes in the way that we dictate it to go. Now, how many times have you woken up and you got this surprise phone call from somebody you've been wanting to talk to, and they're happy and they're going to come into town and they're going to see you and this is great, and then you're going to, a package comes to your door 2 weeks earlier than you suspected, or you got a check in the mail that you never thought you were going to get, and the rest of the day just really flows in a way that's awesome. Yes, this is a great day. Life is wonderful. I'm sure many of y'all have had moments like that too. That is an example as well of positive, using your energy in the positive way, dictating your own energy, being in the flow. We are the creators of our own reality. We are the creators of our own reality. That's the 100%, statement that I want to give everyone in their virtual fortune cookie of today. You were the creator of your own reality, whether it be positive or whether it be negative. Now, first, we have to understand that. And then through this podcast, through this process, I will take us through, along with Dr. Ruja. We can't forget, Dr. Ruja is going to be with us on a lot of episodes. He is a chiropractic and sports medicine doctor. He is head of Ruja Wellness at the Alpha and Omega Center. And he's going to join us to really bring a lot of that physical science to the table for us. And this is about, again, transforming our lives from every single aspect, energetic, quantum atom within us, and it works. And why not? Why not strive for happiness? I tell some of my friends, I tell myself sometimes, I tell people closest to me when they're feeling really down. 2 things are happening to us in this life. We're either going to keep living and growing, or we're either going to spend every single day dying, waiting for death to come. So which seems more fulfilling and fun in this experience while we're here on the planet, while you're in this body? Do you want to be closer to death every single day and just kind of marking those days? Or do you want to live, really live, whatever that is for you? And sometimes we are blocked from our own beliefs. We're blocked from our own, things in childhood that were set upon us, that were imprinted on us. That society puts on us. And there's a lot of things in our environment that we're completely out of our control. Some of the water, has fluoride we shouldn't be drinking, and a lot of that stuff. But there are many things that we can do, that we are in control of, that we can use to make ourselves more energetically healthy.
How does it fit into the equation of the way you're brought up, from 0 age to wherever you get up, and they say that kids' personalities are like actually formed by the time they're 3 years old, and then it gets worse after that. But
absolutely.
How does all that fit in where you try to sharpen these pencils that you're talking about of having a good positive attitude and all that? Where's that transition where they either hear this podcast or they read a book or something, or there's got to be that epiphany in their life that kind of puts them on a good track.
Absolutely. And that first of all, that's our will. So first we have to have the will to say we want to change, or we want more for ourselves. Your will. Okay. Now, yes, a lot of things go into our circumstances in which how we were brought into this world, how we were developed. Our parents imprint on us a lot. And the term imprinting means I'm coming from an energetic point where we can spend so much time in our environment and or around certain people, and their actions, their words, their energetic signatures have imprinted on us. So therefore, if we're wearing our own cloak of experiences, those patches would be the imprints. And it's like they become so much ingrained in us, we even forget that they're from outside of us and we've adopted them into our lives.
Yeah, we've got more people now on Facebook Live. Say hi to them.
Hi, hello.
Judy's there looking at us.
Hello, Judy. Welcome.
And, why don't we give your whole name again, introduce yourself one more time to the new people that have come in, and tell us where we can get a hold of you, because the whole beauty about having superstar podcasters for El Paso is that they can get in contact with you. They can actually maybe even make an appointment to see you. I don't know where we're going to end up with this, but that was the whole point. Because how many times do you all follow a great podcaster, but he's in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or
absolutely.
We're giving El Paso people a chance to know that we have people that want to help you take hold of the power in your spirit and kind of spark it back up,
Absolutely. Ignite your creative force. So again, I'm Mandy Shantyne Lopez. You can find more information about me at www.mandyshantaynelopez.com or send me an email at mandy@theinfiniteartist.com. And I'm an energy coach. I'm a performance coach. I'm a business coach. And I do many things in the realms of design and the metaphysics. So go ahead and visit me at my website or drop me an email and I can connect with you.
You talk about coaching, tell them a little bit about what that entails. I've heard of business coaching and that kind of stuff, but there's some people that have that gift.
Yes, so my coaching I first started in the realm of performance because I was a trained performer. So I worked on set, I was a consultant for many shows, I worked with many actors. The most famous actor to date is Chrissy Metz. She's on the hit NBC show This Is Us. I think she won a Golden Globe and an Emmy now. I'm very proud of her work. I also help business professionals as far as their own public speaking. So a lot of business professionals do a lot of, public speaking, and they have to create performances. So they come to me and I help them really work their body, their voice, and even just tailor the show in which they're doing their speech. And then of course my, really diving into the realm of metaphysics is I work in the realm of wellness. So if you're out there and you really want to, know yourself, get to know yourself, work on your creative force, work on your branding for yourself, your business, or anything else that you're working on. Those are my realms. I'm a designer and an artist in many forms. I'm the architect of my own life. And I, through this, like to show other people out of the fog sometimes because we become so involved in our own lives and we can't really distinguish how to help ourselves sometimes. So we need someone outside of us to facilitate that. And that's been my job since I was 19 years old, honestly. I have a BFA in theater and performance from UTEP. I have a master's in the metaphysics from the University of Sedona. And I'm a trained mediator, so I do some mediation cases at the courthouse and at our community resolutions distribution center. So I do a lot of things, and it all has to deal in the realm of helping human beings really just ignite that growth, that creative force, and that evolution within yourself.
We want to welcome Patsy Stallworth to the live. She is the wife of Ron Stallworth, who wrote Black Klansman, who is nominated from El Paso, Austin graduate. Welcome, Patsy.
Welcome, Patsy.
I'm glad you're watching. I know they're getting ready. They're going to go to the Academy Awards. They're at the SAG Awards, I think, this weekend. Thanks for chiming in and getting to meet Christy here.
Welcome, Patsy. Welcome. Yes, so, we, as human beings, we need a lot, everything. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're an engineer, if you're a writer, if you're in the performance arts, if you're in the sciences, we need to know ourselves. And then when we know ourselves, it's a domino effect into our lives. Then our careers are going, our financial abundance is showing up. The relationship between our husbands or our wives and or our children and our family as a whole just becomes better. And when it's really us. We carry so many things. And sometimes we don't want to either recognize it, we don't want to address it, we don't want to admit it, or we simply don't know. And that's okay. And so we go back to our previous question about the imprinting, when we're young and we're imprinting. Or people are imprinting on us. And so that's why it's very important if we have children. I don't have any children, but I do observe a lot of children and I work with a lot of children. In fact, I kind of consider myself a teen life coach, if you will, because I love working with them.
Well, there's where they imprint themselves too. There's where you get the bullying, right? And there's where you get
absolutely.
I just saw something on the net that really hurt me about a young 10-year-old African-American boy who fortunately at his young age was having to deal with a colostomy bag.
Jeez.
And they would kid him so much that he killed himself.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. We have to take ourselves now to new levels of reality and existing. Okay. Children should not be killing themselves in this day and age. That is horrific. And every time I read stories about that, it mortifies me. And truly, they and we are living in a totally different age than ever before. We're living in the digital age. So this digital age is different when it comes to bullying. There's more, they put everything up online now. So it's even like 10 times worse than it was when we were young and we were in school. So it's like, how are we talking to our kids? What are we showing them as human beings? We have to go back to human beings, to the basics. And, right now in the political climate, we have a lot of there's a humanitarian crisis and, we got to be better people and Well, let's ask ourselves, people, are we really being better people? Are we really looking at the deeper essence of where our problems lie as human beings? And it's going back to that infinite self. Here's a little bit of some product promotion for myself. I have a brand called The Infinite Artist, and you can go on theinfiniteartist.com, and I have really cool, earth and space shirts, because I'm really, creating this philosophy of this notion of people, really we coming into our cosmic self. This is why this podcast, I titled it Transmissions of a Cosmic Woman, because we have to be not only, aware of our earth self, where our origins, our indigenous origins, what is our earth medicine, the herbs, what do we have to work with within our body now? So it takes us back to nobody taught us how to be human beings, earth humans, and that's okay. We go to school and we have classes on writing and math and PE and science, you just the basic sciences, and sometimes art, right? A lot of art programs are being cut, even though those are the most important, avenues for the growth of the brain, are art classes, of course. So nobody said, okay, go to your human class and learn about your emotions, learn about how your mind works, learn about your physical body, besides physical education, learn about your energetic field. Okay, what is an energetic field? We have one. Yes, you have one. And in that field, it has the capability to, change the whole energy of the room sometimes. I'll admit, sometimes I walk into a room and the times that I am rather, angry or in that state, and I'm still human, so I still get angry and those things still happen. And I'll try to contain it, but I can feel that my energy is reaching the masses, and everybody can feel that I'm angry, and they're like, what's wrong with Mandy? And of course, I don't want anyone to feel those discomforts, but let me tell you that I am aware of my energy field, and everybody's energy field crosses out about 12 feet in front of you. If you put your hand out, even more so, your energy field is walking in before you're walking in. Okay, you're a huge bubble, you're a huge sphere of energy. So we need to know how to tailor that. We need to know how to work through that, through the flow of that. And the energy, the beliefs that we have really is the computer printout projection for the life that we're living in front of us. Okay? So for example, if someone's like, I really want to attract a mate into my life. I really want to be with someone. Where is this person? How come they're not here? I'm a great person. Da, 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 da. Okay, well, this is one of those avenues where you really need to look at your energy, and you need to really ask yourself, are you really self in your self-awareness? Are you really in that self-love that, yes, I'm feeling great. I'm loving myself. Thank, whichever God that resonates with you, that you're in this body, that you're on this planet, and that you're healthy, and that you're breathing, and that at the end of the day, you have everything that you need. We have everything that we need. Okay? We do. So from that state of grace, we need to take it to the next level and say, okay, well, is something holding me back? Am I sitting in my own self-pity? Am I sitting in my own victimization? Am I sitting in the past? Because that's a whole other, episode subject in itself, is like, how much does our past play into our present? And it plays a lot. And we really have to ask ourselves, where are we at? Where are we at? What is this energy stuff? What is she talking about? Why do I need to know this? You need to know this because I'm inviting you I'm inviting everyone on this planet to step into their true selves, which is their infinite self. You're an infinite spirit. You're the cosmos. You have your own cosmos. I have my own cosmos. Abel has his own cosmos, and we fuse and we merge, and we're collective, we're collaborative. But it's time that we take ourselves to the next level of evolution. That's the main goal for anything, any workshop that I put out, or any knowledge that I have to share, or any creations that I create. It's so we can go to the next level of evolution, because I don't know about you all, but I think we've plateaued, and we've reached, that sense of something has got to give. There's just too many, really, going back to this young boy who was getting bullied and committed suicide. And we're hearing these things all the time. What? Children committing suicide? We have to ask ourselves as the adults, what are we not doing for children, for little human beings? Because they're still young. Little human beings to come onto this planet. And these things are taking place. Remember, we're on a planet. You're on Earth. Okay? That's reality. Nobody can dispute that. We're on Earth. We're in a human body. All right? You can talk. You can see. You have your senses. You have your mind. You have your energy, which I'm going to teach you more of throughout this exploration, this journey of this transmission. And we have to start knowing who we really are. We really do. We need to start taking ourselves and each other to the next level of our reality on this planet. And for some people, it can mean a various number of things. Some people just want to be super physically healthy. Okay, great, wonderful. That's still going to align with your thoughts, your words, your actions. I like to tell people a lot of the times that I know everybody, like especially the teenagers, are getting into like, the witchiness of things. There's a lot of TV shows, and it's like the magic and the witchiness and da-da-da. And that's all great and fantastic. However, a lot of that stuff is just going back to our roots, to the earth, once again, to the indigenous. We all drink like hierbas and stuff, right? It's pretty herbal and magical, And so we already have the medicine within us. We have the herbs with us. We have the plants. We have each other. We have the energy. We have the water. We have the weather. We have the way we interact with each other. So I like to tell people that really watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts, because your thoughts are the first bubble that then becomes the manifestation into the reality. So if I'm thinking something, and then if you speak it with your words, with your language, with your linguistics into the air, it becomes manifested. So I always say, be conscious. Be conscious. What does it mean to be conscious? It means that you're aware. Be aware with your thoughts and what you're speaking, even more so out loud, because that's essentially a spell. That is a conjuring. That is a manifestation of your reality. It may not show up exactly popping up right then and there, but it's going to show up in some form. So if you're constantly on this trail of talking to yourself with negative talk, negative perspective, nothing ever goes right, this is going to go horrible, oh no, what's going to be the bad thing that's going to happen next? You're already setting yourself up. Listen to the words that you use to yourself. So how do you talk to yourself? How do you talk to your children? How do you talk to your husband? And how do you talk to your wife? How do you talk to your mom and dad, your friends, so on and so on and so on and so on, And, everything that I'm talking about has like its own subject to talk about as well. And I think one of those things as far as like speech goes, if I can leave you with another key ingredient to kind of like consider and become aware of as an exercise is, how are you talking to the people around you, especially the people that you say you love? Because we have a tendency sometimes. And remember, I'm going to use verbiage like we, because I'm not talking to you. I include myself in this mix because we're all growing and we're all human. And if we were perfect and we knew it all, we wouldn't be here. So let's just accept that first point, right? So the people that we love, a lot of the times we like project onto them in the worst ways because we assume or we take for granted that they're always going to be there for us because, oh, this person's close to me. They're my best friend. They're my mom. They're my dad. They're my husband. They're my wife. They're my girlfriend. You know, they're going to be with me. So I can unleash on them. They're not going to leave me. It's all right. They can take it. They know I'm just pissed off, or they know that, you know, it'll be fine. Okay, fine. But a lot of the times we have to be aware that we have to nurture our relationships. We have to be in that state of, you know, people, even if they're blood related to us, and most importantly, when they're not blood related to us, you know, people choose to spend their moments with us. So that's a gift. That's a divine gift. And us as well. You choose to spend your time with someone. And in that moment, as you're there, be fully present with them. Be fully present with them. I mean, how many times do you go to a restaurant, right? And you see like a family of 4 and they're all on their cell phones. You know, they're all just kind of like, I'm on my cell phone and not having any conversation with anybody but whoever they're talking to on your cell phone. And at that point, you're like, who are you talking to on your cell phone? That is that more important than the company in front of you. And I throw in this little bit of the cell phones because our awareness of technology as well is an important aspect to taking ourselves to that next evolutionary state of growth as a human being. Because technology can serve, you know, as double meaning. It can be a great thing. It really can. Technology can be a great thing when we're using it for great intentions, for good intentions, right? And even then, we're not even utilizing technology to its full capabilities with the things that we can do really for real. And we'll save that for another time to really go through that. But the other side of the other coin of technology is it can be a little, you know, it can take away. It can take away. So it floods our minds, right? Have you ever been on Facebook and or not even on Facebook? Let's backtrack it. You're pulling out your phone and you're thinking about something, like you're like, you know, I'm really thinking about you know, going camping this weekend. And you pull out your phone and you Google camping, and then you're not even done Googling camping, like writing the words, but it's already spelling it out. Camping near me. Camping near the hot springs. Camping, whatever you're thinking, okay? Or there's another example. You're thinking of somebody on Facebook. And you get on Facebook and then bam, you see their posts. Or I love how they like to do the psych op where on the messenger, they're like, so-and-so is now active now. And you're like, why are they active now? And I've been calling them for 4 hours and they haven't even answered my call, you know? But. And
what exactly, what does that mean? Active, what, physically active, mentally active,
right? Exactly.
Actually,
right? What does it mean? So, I mean, on the messenger, the little green light, it's like active now, meaning they're, you know, on or they're talking to someone. But let me just put a disclaimer on that. And I think a lot of your audience knows what I'm talking about. The Facebook Messenger is that in itself is kind of a psych op. Because I've been around people right in front of me where their phones are like on the other side of the room. And then I pull up my phone, it says active now. And it's like, no, they're actually not on their phone. So anyway, the point is, technology can make us think very crazy things sometimes, unbeknownst to us, okay? So in this form, the technology is coming into our minds and it's using us. It's using us for advertisement. Oh, you were thinking about buying backpacks last night? Well, suddenly all these advertisements for backpacks come out. Where's that coming from? You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying is we have to be aware of how we're using technology, because the technology right now is using us, everybody, my cosmic brothers and sisters. It is using us.
Right now we're talking with Christy, and I'm going to mess up the name. So, Couture? Your Dave.
Abel, you're talking to Mandy Shantyne Lopez.
What?
See, the technology has messed with Abel's mind.
Wow. My God, that's my bad. So guess what? We're gonna have to do it over.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but what we could do here is let's go ahead and we're recording for you Facebook people. Don't freak out. So what we're gonna do here is let's start where I'm gonna say, well, tell us what we're looking forward to listening to your podcast, and we'll go out there and then I'll edit it.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
All right. So let's go. Okay. So, hey, that's a lot of great information. Just tell us once again. Give us your information and tell us what we can expect from the future podcasts.
Everything that we're talking about. I mean, like I said, I already gave like 12 topics of like, wait, what is she talking
gave
about?
a lot.
I know I gave a lot, right? So yeah, I'm going to break it down every podcast. Everything is going to deal, the underbelly of everything is energy. Okay? Energy in our health, meaning our mental state of health. Okay? Energy in our physical, energy in our emotional health, energy in our energetic health. Okay, so we need to know all of these alignments in our 4 bodies to really understand ourselves in the totality of our earth human selves. Okay, and in that, we're going to also touch on connections. So relationship, I think, relationship wouldn't even be like my first topic to talk about, but you know what? Relationship, it happens. We have relationships with everybody, whether we're in a, intimate relationship or the relationship with our neighbors, our friends, our family, so on and so forth.
Just people in general.
People in general, and we need to know how to engage with people. We need to know how to not be so selfish with people.
But don't you think we live in a time where it's kind of like, there used to be not that much of a risk to say hello to somebody. And I think now more than ever, it's like you don't know what you're going to get. You see the Facebook reactions from people just being in a grocery store, and next thing you know, it's turns into a epithet of some sort. It's the desocialization of people.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I don't know, because I think I'm residing in a different realm because I'm very bold. So I like to go up to people and be like, hey, I like your eyes. I like your jacket. I like, you know what I mean? And yes, you're right, though. Some people are
that freaks me out, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. No wonder I came on too strong. Some people, yeah, they're very receptive and they're like, yeah. And you're right. Some people are like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think, all that stuff. So, yeah, what I like to bring also is education. So I like to bring, education on we have energy points that some people refer to as chakras. We have our sense of belief systems that really, flood our minds, and they drive us towards the actions in which we take. And we need to understand really how to, identify them and then dismantle them if we choose, if they're not serving us anymore, There's a lot of special talents that we all have that we're not recognizing. We have senses, we have more than we think. Sometimes you might have a dream and it's telling you something either about yourself or about a situation. So there's room to explore that. Sometimes we, have a sense, we meet someone and we're like, I really like that person for some reason. I don't know why I connected with them for, so well, so quickly, instantly.
Do you believe that?
Absolutely.
Having that instinct on somebody?
Absolutely. I mean, I see it in many ways, but I like to take it into the like, oh, I knew them. You recognize them in another life. So if I have the philosophy that we're infinite selves and we're living over and over again, then surely we have a soul family, we have a soul group, and it's beautiful to investigate those kinds of things. We don't remember all of it in this physical form. But surely, we feel it, we sense it. So it's beautiful to flow into it and to investigate that.
Right. So go ahead and introduce yourself again and let everybody know, as we're going to go ahead and close out your first introductory podcast here on the Dialogue Internet Radio Network. On our podcast page, this will be up and available after it's approved. So we want to thank everybody for listening. But go ahead and give us your little quick Tehuacho speech.
Awesome, everyone. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. This is Mandy Shantyne Lopez with Transmissions of a Cosmic Woman. And you can reach me at www.mandyshantyne.com or send me an email at mandy@theinfiniteartist.com. And please come join us for raw conversations on energetic health, the healing arts, connections, self-awareness, and life. Of the demonic, negative, subatomic particles. And I'd like to add the tracks you're hearing in the background were made by me, yours truly, for an exhibit called Mujeres Cósmicas. That's a book written by Hilda Sotelo. She's a great activist and writer here on the borderland. You can check her out at www.hildasotelo.com or mujerescosmicas.com. And the sound engineer for these fabulous tracks was Phil Bagan Rosato. So we thank him for his fabulous genius. All right, everyone. So signing off. And remember, this is Transmissions of a Cosmic Woman, and we shall see you again soon.
Soha.